it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, so this message that's coming through is a doozy. It's a bit metaphorical here, but I'm going to kind of bring it together with what I feel like is happening. So I'm seeing this scene unfold before me, and it's happening in a cave, and I'm mixing my metaphors here, but I feel like messages do come through for us in ways that our brains understand. So I think this is just the way this message can be communicated to me specifically. So again, I'm seeing you at the kind of like the tail end of a cave, and you've walled yourself off with spider web, and I'm hearing arachne. So I feel like I just got goosebumps. I feel like you are in this arachne energy, which you may want to look up arachne and like the symbolism around her story. And I'm hearing the word destiny, but also it's coming across as empress energy. So it's this like very healthy spider energy that's coming across as empress energy. And I feel like you've kind of walled yourself off with your own webbing here, and you've created your own like little space, your own little bubble, and the energy that's coming off of that bubble, the energy like in your little compartment or whatever you've made for yourself is, I almost want to say like elven. It's like high vibrational, it's very clear, and I feel like, yeah, it's like you've created enough space around yourself for the energy to be really peaceful and very clear, and it's very healing for you. And so I think you're having a lot of epiphanies and things like that, and you are having to keep yourself like defended here, because it does feel like you've been put in this cave kind of energy. And that's where I'm mixing my metaphors a bit, because I'm hearing the cave of wonders like for Aladdin. And I think maybe you were lured. This feels very past life to me. Very lured into a cave of some kind, metaphorical, could be real, I don't know. You were lured in there, which a cave is like darkness, ignorance, things you couldn't see. Maybe with the promise of something twinkly, a jewel, but I'm hearing diamond in the rough, because Aladdin, was the diamond in the rough. He was the key to being able to access like the darkness or the jewels or something here. And I do feel like that was your energy in the past. Like it's very it's very sacrificial. And I want to leave that there for a second, but so that metaphor of like the cave of wonders and the diamond in the rough and all of that is now starting to overlap with like Mordor from Lord of the Rings, when Frodo and Sam and Gollum start to get really close to Mordor. Like they're up in those like mountains, and they have to go through the cave where there's that giant crazy spider, and that's the negative spider energy, because I do feel like there's been a rival in this situation, and I feel like it's negative spider energy. It's like poisonous, and where your webbing is very skillful and it's used to protect. And I am hearing the word enchantment, but this is coming through like enchanted forest. Some of you need to trust like your own magic and your own intention setting, because it is like a healing balm, where this negative spider energy has been the opposite of that, meant to like entrap, ensnare, because I'm seeing that very poisonous spider energy, which again, we're in the land of metaphor here. So take this however it's resonating for your situation, but it is setting up some kind of webbing. It is trying to catch people in its webbing, and that its webbing is much less intricate and impressive than your webbing. Yours is almost magical. It's like glowing, it's sparkly, and it's very like healing, and it's very protective. But I feel like this negative spider energy maybe has lured even the people who lured you in a past life into this cave with the promise of riches and power, is really what I'm getting. And I'm seeing somebody now in standing outside of the bubble that you've made for yourself. Well, let me pause here for a second. Well, no, actually I need to go into this to describe what I'm seeing. So I'm seeing you, like I said, in your bubble, and you've like sealed it off, and the energy is just, I'm hearing the word like radiant. It's clear. The air is so clear and crisp, and there's almost, it's like you've created a dimensional shift like between yourself. Like I feel like you were lured into this like location, right? But then the dimensions are different. I hope this makes sense. Like the energy, you are on a much higher frequency. So it is almost like you can still communicate with the people on the other side of this like cave, but it's almost like it's going through like a tunnel, or like it sounds like you're communicating through time and space. It's like very like hello, it's like that. But I'm seeing somebody approach your little bubble or your little cocoon, and it is like they know they can't get in there. They're not even trying to get in there. It would be impossible, and they know it. But they're standing outside, and it's like they're trying to coax you out of that, to come back out and to come back and like make amends with them or participate in their little game again. But I'm seeing this person shift their energy, and it's a male. I don't know if that matters, but it's a male. And I'm seeing that person shift their energy into that of a child. Like they're approaching you and they look like they're in a child's body. And it's to make themselves seem not dangerous and like they don't want anything from you, and that they're innocent, and that they're just coming to play, and they're just coming to talk, and they really do feel sorry, and they really want you to come back out. And I do think a part of this is real. I do think this person has gotten a glimpse that who they are is wrong. It's not even what they did. I just heard who they are is wrong. Who they've been is wrong. Where they've been is wrong. What they've done to you and potentially other people is wrong. Who they have kept company with and exalted up on pedestals, and whose direction they were following, it's all wrong. This person is kind of realizing it's like they're your negative Sam. You know, like how Sam, if you were Frodo in this situation, right? It's like this person is your negative Sam, because Sam was ever loyal to Frodo and, you know, would never leave his side and was his best friend, like through thick and thin. And I feel like you thought you had that kind of relationship with this person. Soulmates. I'm hearing soulmates. It's like you'd known each other forever, but I feel this person was lured off the path. And it's by that ring of power is what I'm getting. And, yeah, and so I feel like they know that they're the reason you're in that cave. But I think, you know, this person's energy is very Gollum. It's very addicted to that ring of power. It's very like, maybe it can have moments of like lucidity. And addicts are kind of like that, you know? They can have moments of like extreme lucidity and feeling like very remorseful and very regretful. And I feel like this person may be in that little patch. And I think you have been honest with yourself that even when this person speaks nice to you, because I think that maybe you've broken this cycle before, and then you always get lured back in because of the connection between you and this other person, because you can see their heart, and because you have maintained your sense of loyalty and friendship to this person, like despite everything. It's actually really beautiful. Like, and I think this is a strength energy. It is a strong energy, but I feel like it's been taken advantage of. It's been used to make you impotent. Like it hasn't been looked at as like, wow, this is something I should honor. This is precious. Oh my gosh, my precious. How Gollum was like, my precious. But it's like, you're precious. You are the ring. You are the ring of power. And I'm hearing everlasting. Like everlasting love or everlasting like life. But the life energy, whenever I say everlasting life, I just get hit with this beautiful like fresh burst of like clean, crisp forest air, you know, magical. It's like life energy. Like you are a celebration of life. You love life and the dance of life. But this dance that you've been doing with this person, it's like the dance of death. And it's not the dance of life. And I think that you went through this kind of negative cycle and you're feeling like, well, we were soulmates, but you did lead me into this stupid cave for power. And now going back to that Aladdin metaphor, you know, it's Jafar that brings Aladdin to the Cave of Wonders in order to exploit him. And I do feel like that's gone on here. And I promise I'm going to talk more about that in just a second. But I'm seeing like when Aladdin was in that dungeon, it's like, don't you know the golden rule? Which the golden rule, and I feel like the golden rule for you is treat others the way that you would like to be treated. And I do feel like this person has not done that to you. This person has taken advantage of you. They've tried to pull the wool over your eyes. They've tried to exploit you in some way. And, you know, maybe hoping that that would never be, that they would never have to face the consequences of that, because, you know, Jafar tries to kick Aladdin back into the Cave of Wonders as it's closing down. So he's like, he doesn't have to face what he's done, you know, and nobody, and there's no evidence. Yeah. And I'm hearing, and only your fleas will mourn you. Like, you know, yeah, there's a real sense of like isolation or obscuration of your energy. But, yeah, going back to like the golden rule, right? Like treat others the way that you like to be treated. I feel like that's ironically this person's karmic lesson. I feel like you embody this and they've taken advantage of it. And I feel like they're meant to learn this from you. Like I feel like you are that strong mirror of that you treat people the way that you would like to be treated, and this person just does not. But Jafar says to Aladdin in the dungeon, he's like, whoever has the gold makes the rules. So I feel like that's the energy that this person has sided with. And they wanted power and they wanted riches and they wanted status, and so they will sacrifice, and they have done this. There's a pattern of this in this person's energy field now, where they were corrupted by like the dark forces, like the forces of ignorance, the forces of greed is what I'm hearing. Yeah, lust, power, all of that. But it's on your back because you are the required sacrifice. Look, my voice is kind of going out. And the way that you can hear me talking like through that, that's kind of like the dimensional energy. I feel like this person, yeah, something here like that. But I feel like this person has sacrificed you on multiple occasions, like in previous lifetimes. And you could have felt the whispers of that in this lifetime. That's how your connection ended, is that this person chose darkness over you, chose lust or greed or power over you in some way. I don't know if you can see that or not, because you haven't been able to in the past, because you this person sacrifices you right at that intersection of them achieving status, greatness, power. And I feel like you're meant to travel through the sands of time. There's a lot of sand references in this, like another Arabian night, Arabian night. There's like this could have to do with like Mithras for some of you. Oh yeah, because Mithras, that like Mithraic cult, was like down in caves. Again, only take that if it resonates for you. But I feel like you have, it's like there's energetic patterning that's been built up because of ritual. And this has been a theme that I feel like Spirit has wanted us to pull back the layers of the onion to understand that, first of all, you are an eternal being and you have lived multiple lives, and you do have this thing called an auric field, and it does have some skaras in it, like scars in there. It has certain like a neural groove in the brain where it's like a pattern, it's a well-worn route. Like your energy, your auric field has this in it as well. And I'm hearing some of it was put there and built up by you, which is builder energy, and others of it was kind of inserted into your auric field by others. And I do feel like this person, that this masculine energy, and he kind of looks a bit like Aladdin to me, and maybe that's, you thought there was a kinship here, and but this person is like a thief. They have like thief energy. They're trying to take things that are not theirs, and they're trying to avoid some kind of like karmic repercussion here by doing this as well. I think like in past lives where there was more understanding of this, like of ritual and certain things like that, it could have been explained to this person that this was like a foolproof plan and that they were going to get away with it, and that there's nothing that they need to fear because somehow sacrificing you in whatever way they did was going to take care of that. I don't know. It feels like joining a cult, to be honest. But yeah, so I feel like it's like this unconscious pattern that's built up in your energy field. And I think that it may have contributed to patterns of like in you, patterns of sweetness, like being overly sweet, being very impotent, shaving down your teeth, a loss of identity, a loss of true culture. You could have been taken from your homeland, but you could have been lured away from your homeland by this person, because this is like friendly energy that like led you into the belly of the beast almost. Like, so you trusted this person and you were told that you were going somewhere for a reason or something. And then you went with this person only to be like sacrificed at the end of it. I don't know. But yeah, so this like kind of loss of identity and loss of culture. And it could be that this is why you got born into enemy territory, for those of you who feel like you really have nothing in common with your family, and that your family maybe uses you as a sacrifice or a scapegoat, or doesn't pay any attention to you, or you really don't feel like you belong to the culture that you were born into here as well. It's because you could have been lured there. And then there was, during this whatever ritual sacrifice, I'm really strongly getting that. But this feels to me like either the cave thing, which is like Mithraic. It also could be like you were sacrificed to the volcano, or you were sacrificed to the river or the stream or the lake, or like the energies that kind of like lived there. And whatever they did in preparation for that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's it's been this kind of instruction to your soul or to your energy that was put there by someone else, that you kind of were made low or like put under, but it's not true. And it's like you have to realize that, and you have to claim your own sovereignty. You have to claim your own independence. You have to claim your own truth, and you have to take that sort of truth of what's actually gone on here, that this person in fact is not a soulmate. I mean, I think they were, definitely, but I mean, they've just sacrificed you for somebody else, and maybe at the behest of someone else, and like taking that back and growing your teeth back and your claws and standing up for yourself and getting yourself out of there in whatever way. And I feel like you're very skillful. And so your way of doing this would be very skillful, and it would be very gentle. And I think it's first and foremost, again, by that webbing that I've seen you encase yourself in. And just the fact that your energy is so beautiful and you're no longer sharing it with people who don't deserve it. But going back to this like sacrificial energy, I do feel like it was some kind of ritualized, magical something to, yeah. And this I know this is like, this message is really out there, you guys. Like, only take this if you're kind of connecting to that energy signature, if you can feel the truth of this energy. It's definitely coming through for somebody here. But I feel like that, okay, because going back to that negative spider energy, when I was little, I got bit by this poisonous spider. It's called a brown recluse, and it's kind of gross because the spider, when it bites you, like, its venom, it's like saliva, sprays out, and it starts to digest the skin before it even like actually chews it, and it's going to come back and like kind of save it for later. And I feel like that's like, there was some kind of preparation for this ritual that this person may have actually like prepared you for, like dressing a ham or something. Yeah. And I don't know, it's like they had to feed you certain foods, or they had to do something. For some, they had to like marry you, or they had to, I don't know. There's some kind of preparation that needed to be done that this person sort of put in place unbeknownst to you behind the scenes. So it's a traitorous energy. And there you were, the golden rule personified, treating others the way that you want to be treated, just being so loving and sweet and trusting to this person. And they, like lambs to the slaughter is what I'm hearing. Like, you were just this sweet innocent. And I feel like you were targeted because of some kind of trait that you had. And it could be, I'm hearing maiden, virginal, sweet, innocent, pure, bright. It also could have been like some, I don't know. I feel like that's this jealous rival energy that then in this lifetime, I think, takes on the persona of the mountain, the volcano, takes on the persona of the river, or whatever. And but it's like there was a misuse of this energy. I mean, and it's all misuse, it's all error, it's all like sinful, it's all in error, it's all a misunderstanding. But I feel like this culture that was doing this, these people, the way that they would like select these sacrifices was to form some kind of like secret alliances with people. It's like, okay, you've got to make this sacrifice, or and that's like what gives you position or power. But they would also target people that they were jealous of, or that they felt threatened by. They would target people either specifically or through traits, like, I'm jealous of people who are young and beautiful, or I'm jealous of people who are strong and fit, or I'm jealous of people who, whatever. It's like, well, the volcano demands them as a sacrifice, and they would use that to get what they wanted and to actually like control things behind the scenes. And so it was this like messy dynamic. And I think that you could have felt the whispers of that played out in this lifetime. And I think it's unconscious for you, and I think it's unconscious for like these people, what's actually going on. And what we're doing is like we need to break the bonds of that. The bonds have already been broken, and I'm literally going to cry. I heard this was a major part of Jesus's sacrifice. I'm not trying to like get you guys to be Christian. The Jesus that I know like is not like that, is not like of that energy, but his like sacrifice, his own personal sacrifice, actually, like when you think about this, that actually makes so much more sense, because he was always challenging like the Pharisees, like the temple elders and stuff, because it was these like religious elders that would call for these sacrifices, not necessarily in Judaism. They did that with animals and stuff, but his sacrifice was the sacrifice to end all sacrifices, because he knew himself to be at one with God, to belong so fully to God. He knew that it was like an error, again, like false. But I feel like that is what, this is so strange. I really don't know what I'm saying. Okay. So only take this if it resonates with you. I don't care what you believe and what you don't believe. I really don't. This is just the way the message is coming through. It's like, it was to break those bonds, those false like ritual sacrifices, so that people could have their sovereignty back and that they could be one with God. And I feel like you should speak this aloud to yourself. You should speak this over yourself. And I'm going to tell you right now, like, you do not belong to the river. You do not belong to the stream. You do not belong to the volcano. You are God's, and into her loving, healing hands, I commend you once more, if that's what you need to hear, right? But just like, this, what I'm saying is like, speak this to yourself. Like, no longer am I, and I think for some of you, this is the process that you've already initiated that you don't quite understand, that when you're cord cutting and you're erasing. And they're giving you mental images: cord cutting, erasing, healing, smoothing, filling in, all of those things. Like these kind of, I'm comparing it to a neural groove, which a neural groove is like the ruts that kind of form in your brain when you have familiar patterning. Like it just forms in there and it becomes almost like second nature to you, right? This has gone on in your energetic field. This is what's being repaired through breaking the bonds and the connections with these faux soulmates. I do think there's an actual soulmate here that led you into harm's way and did it repeatedly, and did it for some kind of social boon or benefit, or some kind of societal status or something. And now it feels like that's almost an unconscious patterning in that person's energy field. And they know that they love you, but they can't help but sacrifice you or treat you bad or lead you right to the slaughter, in whatever way that they did. So it's this patterning that we are blocking, we are breaking, we are reclaiming your energy back. Like it's always been yours, because you've always belonged to God. That's just like the nature of all of us. But we do have a lot of power, like with our intention and with our voice and everything. And I feel like somewhere, like it was kind of made to confuse you about your identity and about the soul and about your energy and about free will and about courage and all of that stuff. And I feel like this is somehow led to an overemphasis in your cultural upbringing, your spiritual upbringing. I'm hearing like a lamb to the slaughter again. Like this is just you being prepared for the sacrifice all over again, when it's like you get indoctrinated into like, well, you're supposed to be a good little girl and you're not supposed to fight back and you're supposed to just be ever giving. And this doesn't obviously have to end in like actual, like it would have in previous times, in a very brutal ending. This could just be you sacrificing yourself on the altar of these other people that are not your soulmates, but have, it's like you would have been led into these people's like tribe or these people's culture or city or whatever, like in the past, and you don't belong there, but then you end up being like an indentured servant or a slave, or you just give over your self-sovereignty, and that seems all well and good and right to you, and you don't challenge it like in your own mind because it's just a part of that ritualistic magic that was kind of put at you, and it's just continuing to run its course like through your energy. And it's like you feel fulfilled doing that, or you feel like that's your purpose is to do that, and it's not. So I feel like you're breaking this. You're perfectly safe. You may connect this message back to a time in this lifetime where there was some kind of drama, where you felt like a masculine energy was your soulmate, and then instead you feel like you were just kind of sacrificed to the mountain or to the river. And I think this would be a person in this lifetime. It could be to an institution or a culture or their dreams or whatever, but in order to receive some kind of boon, like again, social or status, but you are perfectly safe. And I do feel like there's somebody watching this masculine, because remember I was seeing that masculine like at the edge of your webbing. It's very thick webbing. And it's enchanted at that, like it's magical, or it has like a boon from the divine like woven through it or something. You are perfectly safe like within your spider's web here. And that jealous rival energy that I do feel like sent this masculine towards you with this negative impulse in the past, saying, oh, well, we must sacrifice her, she's for the volcano, and definitely don't sleep with her because the volcano likes virgins. Sleep with me instead. Like it's very much like that kind of energy to get what they wanted. So they poisoned the well is what I'm getting, or like the well of your connection with this other person in order to again gain. They're jealous. This is like this jealous rival energy, and I see them looking at this masculine kind of standing outside of your webbing and feeling the sincerity of him wanting your attention or wanting to mend things with you. But he's broken. Like he's really sullied his soul and the people that he's chosen to be around, and this is for lifetimes. This is a strong pattern in this man's soul, and it's like sometimes he flickers back to the person that you knew, the unsullied soul that would never sacrifice his friends, and would have actually gone back to the village and given everybody a heads up that we've got a problem here, like that part of him. I think sometimes he flickers back into that, and you remember that, and that's the part that feels like home to you. That's the part that feels like, I know you, we're friends, like best friends. I just heard besties. Like this is a strong kind of like, it's really sad. It's very much a shame what happened here, and I do feel like this masculine feels ashamed. It's like when he flickers back to like his actual self and his actual essence, but I feel like he's got to suck the poison out of his own life. He's got to like relinquish it. He has to leave the cave. He has to be okay with himself. That's what this journey looks like, is like accept that he's not all powerful, and that maybe if it comes at the sacrificing of true friends, everything that's actually good and valuable. I think that's another karmic lesson that's being learned by this masculine, is what actual value is. It's not gold and diamonds and earning the respect of people that you honestly don't have anything in common with. These are terrible people. Who wants to be around these people? That's your prize? That is a gold covered turd, okay? It's a turd. And so it's like, no, actually having friends that love you, it's the things that money can't buy. actually being around the people that you love, getting to spend a lifetime with them and not throwing them in a volcano. Like, that's actually really nice, seeing their children grow up, teaching them how to catch their first fish. I just heard, like, those kinds of things are invaluable. And I think this person has had to learn that. They've had to learn what they had all along, which was you, and potentially what now they have lost, being, suckling at the teat of power, worshiping. This very much feels like in another culture, something that is not befitting to them, and something that really has like sullied their soul. And yeah, I feel like this is all kind of being unraveled now. And the power is being sucked out of this space, because I feel like yourself and anybody else that was thrown into this volcano, I feel like is somehow healing from this, or being like, there's being a rebalancing and like some kind of redistribution of this. But I want to say to you is, like, to sacrifice means to make sacred. And I feel like you've been consecrated in this. Like, this is like the kind of magical glowy energy that I'm seeing come off of you. So I feel like if you have not connected into that space for yourself, that you are being invited to do that. And it feels like a real kind of boon energy. And this is going to come in when you take your power back, when you take your identity back and your independence, because you are not impotent. And I think there may be a weird relationship you have with, I'm hearing purpose, but also prosperity. Like, when you're actually thriving or when you actually feel prosperous, I think some of you are afraid of that energy because you feel like it's wrong. I feel like this was put into your energy field so that you would give everything over to the volcano, or that you would give everything over to your captors, or the people that wanted to control you. And this is a beautiful like reclaiming, but I also feel like there's a consecration that's going on. There's like a boon energy that's going on. Like, it's very sparkly, and like I'm hearing this will never happen again. Like, and I'm hearing like serenity. Like, I just feel like I just heard like that's your name, Serenity. Yeah, I heard Serenity is her name. Serenity is what we will call her. Like, that to me feels like this next chapter of your life. I'm hearing like the rest of your life, like this next half of your life, or whatever it is. Like, it's very peaceful and it's very serene. And I feel like these people are going to be made to pay for what they've done to you, because they may have opened contracts with a volcano or something. I don't know. And I just heard, don't write a check that your ass can't cash. And they've been using other people's asses to cash this check. It's been unfair, and they've outrun a lot of karma. And so I think these people have donned themselves with the fruits of good karmas, with the fruits of, your energy and other people's energy, and it doesn't belong to them. And so that's that big part of like the rebalancing that's going on. And I'm hearing poverty and like impoverished, because these people's souls are impoverished. I mean, look at what they've done to people. But the forgiveness I'm hearing is available to them as well. Like, hearing that Jesus' sacrifice was for all of us. It was for everyone that got wrapped up in that, in the falseness, that unhealing space of that. And you do not have to be a Christian. You do not have to be a follower of Christ. Like, this, Jesus's energy is just that. It's like so pure to me. And it really is the energy of like pure love and forgiveness and compassion. And Jesus doesn't give and like expect something of you. It's really unconditional love. And it's there. That energy is there for you to claim. And I do feel you should speak this over yourself. That I'm hearing, I belong to no one. There's that song, I belong to no one. Like, you belong to yourself, and you're not expected to sacrifice yourself on other people's altars, or to endure that any longer than you already have. And it makes God weep that you have been made to for so long, and that someone who claimed to be a lover, someone who claimed to be a friend, would have led you into such turmoil. That makes spirit weep. So I do feel like you'll feel that friend energy coming in, the peace energy. Some of you, it's like I'm seeing hermit energy, like you just kind of want to be left alone, and the friend energy is like animals and like, your plants and things, like just a peaceful energy setting around you. But that is your birthright. That is your boon energy, but do take it. And I feel like you need to ask for it or declare it or something like that, because that's the energy that you've been missing. There's like an anemic response on a spiritual level, or an impotent, where it's been bred into you. But you have the most beautiful, pure heart. And that should be your lot in life. That should be what you experience. It's what you give to others. And I think you've been giving in vain. And you were somehow taught to accept that. And this is a programming that was injected into your auric field via some kind of ritualistic magic or ritualistic practice that you maybe didn't even understand was going on back in the day, maybe over the course of many lifetimes. and you are not expected to do that anymore. So yeah, I feel like pray, like speak to God about this space, declare this. And so the last thing I'll say is that I'm hearing this quote from A Course in Miracles, and it said, you used to ask God who you were, now you tell God who you are. And that is a very good thing. I feel like you're supposed to speak life into yourself, and you're supposed to declare, I am free, I am me, I am abundant, I'm prosperous. Because I think that the people you've seen with, like the haves and the have-nots is what I'm getting, these people that have taken from you and from others, the people that you've seen live off the fat of the land, I think you find deeply uninspiring. And I think when you think of abundance, you think it's going to turn you into that. But Spirit is saying, oh my gosh, okay, I'm hearing this song is called New Currency. We're the new currency, making diamonds look cheap. Love is our cash machine. The gold in our hearts, what money can't buy. Yeah, you might want to listen to that. It's called New Currency. So you have a different way that you will show your abundance, and it's through that values energy, like what's important to you, and the way that you will display that is going to look much different than these other people. And again, it's that healthy spider energy. I go back to Arachne, that healthy spider energy that's really coming through as Empress energy. And it's much like these two spiders, like the unhealthy spider and the healthy spider, it's like they're both spiders, and yeah, if you want to look at certain things, like they're going to seem similar, but they're actually very, very different. You have to give yourself a chance to like display that. Okay, one more thing that I'll mention is like this Arachne energy. I do remember from the myth that she challenges Athena, which is like Athena, the goddess of like war, and skill, right? And she does like craftsmanship and stuff too. And so I think she actually she holds her own. I can't remember how this goes. You might want to look it up, but I'm pretty sure Athena gets mad, and Arachne has such a gentle spirit, and she ends up like hanging herself. And Athena, I think, feels bad. I don't know, but it kind of reminds me of this handoff to this like kind of new world and this new energy of like, this is what skillful energy is, and it shouldn't be for war. I do feel like whatever this negative spider energy and this negative culture and this negative group, it's about war. And it could have been actual war in the past, but it's about competition, which is war energy, and so they want status. So these are people that want abundance, but at the expense of other people, because they only like that abundance when it's compared to people who don't have as much as them, because they want to stir up this sense of jealousy. It's war, it's taking, it's competition, and it's very different than your energy. And again, I feel like that blaming energy, like I think you've blamed yourself for a lot of things, so it's that handoff. And we see that mimicked in also like the Aphrodite Psyche myth, which you may want to also revisit, because I do feel like this jealous rival, it was probably something to do with your looks, or that they could tell that somebody that they wanted or that they liked had a crush on you, and they were like, the volcano really likes people who mentions all of your traits, and if you push her in, then you can just have a boon, when in reality you're the boon. The very fact that this person can connect with you is, I'm just hearing like love everlasting, life everlasting. That is the prize. You are the prize in this situation, right? But that Aphrodite energy, God bless her, she gets jealous and she gets fiery and she likes to stir up shit. And, she sounds like a good time, honestly, like in the right context. She also sounds terrifying in also the right context. You know what I'm saying? But that Psyche was much gentler. And I feel like yours is that kind of new Psyche energy, and you don't see yourself clearly. It's this kind of transfer over of this like new way of being. So anyways, I'm gonna leave that there. This was a weird one. This was a wild ride, very metaphorical story. And again, only take this if it resonates with you. And I'm not trying to ever push any kind of like worldview on you. I'm just simply offering this is the way these messages get communicated to me. And so I'm trying to communicate them as clearly as I can. I truly love and support your journey with God. And I do understand that is such a private space. You have whatever beliefs that you have. I truly do not care. I think that you have an intimate relationship with God, and that is sacred. And I'm just happy to be a part of it in whatever way you see fit. So that's what I have for you guys. Break those ties, declare your sovereignty, your independence, stop running this same old route with these people. And I do think that you've realized you have to cut off this masculine energy that doesn't have, he's on his own journey now. And you can pray for him and stuff, but he's on his own journey now. And you're no longer to be his sacrifice, because that's what you've become to him. You were his soulmate. You were his everything. I just heard you were his everlasting life. And he has continually sacrificed you on the altar of whatever this bullshit is. And now he's got to heal. It feels like I just heard parasite, like some kind of spiritual parasite. Like, he's got to get that out of his system. He may need to go to some kind of like rehab or something. I don't know. But it's in his system, so he can only ever flicker in and out of the person that you remember him as. He's not that guy anymore. Not fully. He's very volatile and unstable in his energy. Probably because he made a pact with a mountain. I don't know. Or like a volcano, or a riverway or something that would flood, and that's why people were sacrificed. Like, whatever he made a pact with, it's like very volatile, unstable energy. He needs to undo that and pray for his own forgiveness and for the forgiveness of his soul, and to disentangle himself from these creatures that he has debased himself for. So, and to heal from that. He's got his own healing journey, and it really feels like coming down off of some kind of substance or something. So, okay, that's what I have for you guys. If that resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys.